Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to all the members who joined the call today. It's a very important forum, very important discussion regarding all the initiatives, all the activities that ACC has been performing. This is our annual member network meeting. Um, just to refresh some memories, 2 years back, we were holding this annual members network meeting in Lahore at the Pearl Continental, uh, opening up iftar and roza. So it was during Ramadan then. Last year, Umar, Sajid, and I, we traveled to Karachi, and in a beautiful setting of the Arena Club, was it Arena, right? So Arena Club, we had an excellent conversation, excellent participation. About 200 members from Karachi participated, and then we had a very lavish buffet and some bowling afterwards. So this year we are confined to digital, and as we say, digital is the new normal. So that is what we are doing right now. You can see people in their homes. I am working from my home. Sajeez is working from his office, the ACC office in Lahore. Ayla is also probably in her office, and Umar working from his office as well. So that's how things are uh, right now, and that's how they're going to go. This is a very important forum, a very important conversation. This is a two-way conversation. So mainly, the purpose of today's session is to brief you or tell you about ACCA's future plans. What has ACCA done for you in the past? What is ACCA doing for you during this epidemic to support you all the more? And what is some feedback and questions that we would like from you to be answered here at this forum. So a very important two-way conversation will be happening today. Um, Let me very briefly give you an idea of what ACCA has been doing, particularly with respect to COVID. And these messages will be then explained in more detail by Sajid, by Ayla, and by Omar. So this pandemic came at a time when ACCA's plan for 2020 and 21 was almost finalized. We had agreed on how many seminars, workshops, key events, flagship events, new member ceremonies, all that was going to happen. Everything was finalized, budgets lined up, etc. So everything was in place. But then all of a sudden, uh, we were faced with this huge challenge. And the reason why ACCA was able to very quickly respond to the situation was that we had been very, very active on our digital platforms all along. So it did not take us long to very quickly focus everything on digital and try to bring in as much content as possible, whether that was about webinars, whether that was about, whether that was think ahead sessions that you visit or attend live on ACCA's Facebook pages and LinkedIn pages. You can go on and view those recordings of those sessions right now as well. So very quickly, we started sharing and throwing a lot of content around how to manage distress during this time, how to work from home. The first session, if you remember, 27th of March was probably the second or the third day of the lockdown. We brought in Ayla and we're discussing how to work from home, what not to do, what should you be doing in order to keep your efficiency levels high. And that was the third day into the lockdown, and that's the speed that we were working with, uh, preparing our members to deal with this you know difficult situation. uh, a lot of discussions, a lot of activities happened afterwards. For example, we thought that this would be a good time, since we're talking about filing, budgets, etc. So, a lot of webinars conducted locally with respect to local taxation going on. A lot of global and regional webinars also shared with you. So one emphasis was that and that's something that happened for the first time literally at ACCA, that everybody from around the world who had switched on to digital, they said that let's create a pool of these webinars and resources that we are sharing with members. So why should everyone try to reinvent the wheel? We'll collaborate, we'll bring the contents together, so put them in one place. So if, let's suppose, the Pakistan market feels that a session happening in Cyprus is relevant to the Pakistan market, broadcast it there as well. If a session in Pakistan on corporate governance is relevant to what is happening in the Middle East, the Middle East can pick up the content. So content sharing was done quite efficiently. So that way you were able to see a lot of activity happening from this ACCA platform. At the same time, we also realized that as a result of this pandemic, people are facing hardship, our members are facing hardship. Some of them unfortunately lost their jobs, which is very, very sad, and some of them had to face pay cuts, putting them through financial difficulty. And ACCA, once again, very quickly trying to respond to this, took the matter back globally. It was discussed at length, with the senior management, with the council, and solutions were brought back. And these solutions will be shared with you by a council member, Ayla, who's a part of the panel today and will be making a presentation. And I think in a few days' time, ACCA itself will be sharing some news with you. The the key message that we want to give at this point is that ACCA cares for its members. We will definitely stand by your side in this difficult time. Um, we will make sure that the employment support that was already available to you, that is beefed up, that is multiplied. And if today as we speak, there is a virtual career fair that is about to end now. It's happening right now. So the biggest career fair that has so far been held across different countries. So the whole purpose was to offer support to members, to make sure that if it comes to their subscription payments, ACC is able to help the members and facilitate the members. That was just a scene-setting dialogue from my side. Thank you very much once again for joining in, for sparing time. And the way we are going to run this session is that first of all, I'll bring in Sajid Aslam, the head of ACCA Pakistan, who is going to do a keynote address and give you some important messages. After that, our council member, Ayla Majid, who's a member of the council board also. And Ayla, if I may request you to explain the new structure of the council to all the members as well for their understanding. Ayla will come in and she'll talk about all the global initiatives that ACC has taken, the matters on which council has taken a stance, has taken decisions. So Ayla will bring in those. And after that, our MNP chair, Umar Zahir Mir, will come in and he will talk about the local initiatives alongside some of the global initiatives that have been put in place to facilitate members. I will also like to welcome and thank all other MNP members who've joined the call today. And I would particularly like to mention Hafiz Arsalan Shabir, who is the vice chair of our members network panel and is very, very active, offering support to members through his employability society. So thank you very much, Arsalan, for your presence today and for all the work that you're doing to offer employability support to our members. So with that, we will commence. After every speaker has spoken, we will take a 5 to 10 minutes question answers break. And once all three presentations are also over, once again, we will have a session for question and answers. So without any further delay, let me hand over to Sajid Aslam to start off.
Thank you, Harun.
Over to you, Sajid. Thank you.
Thank you. just trying to move the slide now. Harun, if you can help me to get to my slides, I think they're okay. Great. Uh, Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon right now. And number one, like before we get there, we always talk about कि ACCA exist क्यों करता है and what ACCA is all about. So I think that's an important thing. ACCA is all about its membership. हम लोगों की existence is only because the members exist. And the core purpose of ACCA is to support members and the membership in totality. Or उसके लिए definitely you will hear more things from Ayla, from Umar Zahir as well, that what kind of initiatives and activities which are being undertaken by ACCA. But the most important thing, anything which we are doing or we will be doing next year or a year after, that is based on the certain feedback. And that feedback comes through the surveys, that feedback comes through the interaction which as a member you have among the membership with the MNP, with the council member, or with the teams who are supporting you in Pakistan in across 6 different offices. And we do understand कि बहुत सी जो एक बड़ी individual or personal situations होती हैं, sometimes we are unable to address that. But the journal जो situations होती हैं, it takes time, but we manage, most of the time we manage to address those ones. I'm not going to get into details on that. I'll just try to share some of the experiences around the individuals and organizations who are really creating opportunity out of this adversity which exists out there, out of this chaos. And the first thing and the character or a characteristics which we can see on those organizations is the emotional resilience. Whenever there is adversity, the first reaction हमारा ये होता है कि हम एकदम एक pessimistic mode में चले जाते हैं, and we stop looking around and we stop looking for the opportunity. So emotional resilience is one of a trait or one of the characteristics which works the best once you are facing adversity like you are facing today. We know, we do understand there are a lot of members, like Harun picked up earlier, might have lost income, there might be reduction in the income, but what does it mean? It's also mean that this is the time we go back and we start reflecting on the areas where we can improve and create new opportunities. We can collaborate, and that's one area which, again, in the face of adversity, if we try to stay alone or if we let other people to stay alone, I don't think we can create opportunities and we can really come out of that adversity in a good way. So I think other characteristics which we have seen in these time by individual and the organization, they have improved or they have enhanced their effort to collaborate with other and support each other. We cannot build a bridge alone. We need a team. We need people who can work together and create that bridge. So the first thing I talked about is the emotional resilience once you are facing adversity. And the second trait or characteristics which we have seen among individuals and the organization is the collaboration. If we move further, the third area which we have seen is the ultimate calm and reflection. Go back and see what you can improve. What is the one small change which we can bring in our life or in people or in an environment around us? And that's a one reflection. You start going back and reviewing your life, reviewing your habits, reviewing your routines, and you create new routines and new habits, which helps, number one, in facing adversity, number two, creating opportunity, and number three, the most important part, I'll come again, making progress. So just going back and summarizing, and I'm sure you will get more details on the ACCA and what ACCA is doing, my key message to everybody, once we face the adversity, the first thing which we have to demonstrate is the emotional resilience and start looking for the opportunities which definitely exist out there. A lot of people might be facing a loss of income, but I know a lot of people, including ACCA members, who are working in a different stream, they they are better off right now just because they were part of the certain technology one, they were part of the business, or they were running their own business, which is booming in that particular situation. And the second part again come to the collaboration, work together, try to support each other, try to really reflect on the community, then reflection on your own life, your own skill sets, your own habits, and your own routines, what you can change, and ultimately aim high and start making a progress. Create a milestone for yourself and start looking for achievement of those progresses through collaboration. And then start monitoring the progress right now. We have seen people, we have seen organizations who have adopted this kind of mindset, who have really worked on this kind of mindset. I'm not talking about the tool set or a skill set. I'm talking purely a mindset game. The people who have developed, or organizations who have developed that kind of mindset, they are creating a better response to this situation compared to the people who chose not to change the mindset. So these are the four things, again, repeating back: emotional resilience, collaboration, then reflection, and progress. These are the four words from my side, uh, which I believe helped me throughout my life. And I believe I have seen the other people and organizations who deployed that in a right sequence and the right way. They have seen a success significant. So that's all from my side. Harun, I'm open for any question.
Thank you very much, Sajid. Let me have a quick look at the questions and tell you if we have any questions for you. Audience, if you have any questions to ask
I
of
have a
Sajid.
question for Sajid. If you allow, I have
Okay,
a question for Sajid.
okay, all right. Please go on, Umar.
So very well said, Sajid. Very motivational as always. How would you advise our members to work on building these four key traits, especially in these times?
I think when we talk about building a mindset or changing a mindset, so you don't have to go out and really learn anything. It's a matter of decision. Whether I want to stay pessimistic or optimistic or realistic, that's not something who can come and somebody can train me. I can decide today whether I want to see a glass half full or half empty. That's my decision. So when we are talking about emotional resilience, that's my decision. If we are talking about collaboration, that my act, I decide that I'm gonna support somebody, or I'm gonna ask for support. Like, collaboration is not that you are going to go for and go out and support people. It's also asking support from others as well, and don't get into that egoistic mode that hum kisi se help nahi maan sakte. Reflection is the one. Again, find out some time. That's something where you need a little bit practice. Find 10-15 minutes within those 24 hours and try to go back and review your habits and routines, and how where those habits and routines are going to take you, where you what you have achieved using those habits and routine. Can you make a small change there? One small change in habit and routine leads a different kind of progress. And then evaluating progress, I think again it's a matter of, again, when you are reflecting, you can also really measure the progress. So have something as a target that I want to do, I don't know, during this time, a weight loss like we were talking earlier, or I want to go for exercise, I want to eat healthy, or whatever you want to do. And believe me, there are so many things you can really decide. You can go and you can come back and say, I want to go back and review my uh, performance objective or a competency framework of ACCA. And I'm sure when you will be talking about the six digit, we spend 100 hours in reviewing those performance objective and the competency framework. And the people who really managed to put some effort there, and that was extraordinary effort, I would say. I always appreciate those guys. It wasn't an easy program, but they have made a significant progress just by changing a one thing, which we always talk about. हम sometimes हमारा sequence जो होता है वो tool set से शुरू होता है. We would like to learn Excel first, accounting later, and the mindset normally we miss out. So we have to start with the mindset and then build a skill set. There are too many tool sets you can use. Tool set is important, but the sequence should not start from the tool set, skill set, and the mindset. The mindset should be driving that what kind of skill set you should, number one, acquire, and number two, how you really excel in that, and how you will really make improvement in that and staying relevant. And the tool set is a delivery model that you create value for people more efficiently. So mindset is the one thing where I would try to stay some point and then really evaluate that which mindset we are and make decisions to change this. It's not very difficult. It's but it takes certain courage and effort to try something different.
Thank you very much. Very well elaborated.
Okay, we have one question and two suggestions from members. So the first suggestion is from Akib Nuhula, who is saying that ACCA should organize some sessions on mental health and how to manage it in this time of crisis. That's a suggestion. Thank you very much. This has been noted. We'll try to bring in a psychiatrist and help us deal with stress, although ACCA globally had run a series on stress management. So that's there. Question number two is, so Sajid, since you mentioned 6 digits, um, there's a question from Usman Yusuf. He's saying, when is the 6 digits program going to start? So just to give you an update, we have just concluded taking nominations from members for the 6 digits program. The deadline for sending in nominations ended yesterday. We have more than 1,000 nominations from members, students, and affiliates. So, we're now going to do a process of selection. And just as that selection is done, and hopefully it will be done during this week, we will immediately then announce the commencement of the session. We are also going to offer this session to those members who have lapsed, who have been suspended, as we feel that they may also be facing stressed by the situation, and ACCA would never leave even its suspended members alone. So if there is anything that we can do to help them to make a contribution in their lives, we would not stay back. But however, our focus remains on those active members who are there. The third suggestion is from Adnan Ahmed Kaisar. He's saying, I would like to have a webinar on using platforms for e-commerce. Like nowadays, we should have this. Any other suggestions? So Adnan, e-commerce, fine, once again, your suggestion is taken. Let us see what e-commerce platforms we can be brought in. But please remember what Sajid just said to you. An e-commerce platform would be a tool set, and there are 1,001 tool sets around you which you can very easily go on and acquire. So go to a platform like Udemy or Coursera, and you will find a lot of trainings there, or even LinkedIn training. You'll find a lot of, I mean, ACCA emphasizes more on the mindset, and that is what we will be delivering through the 6 digits program also. Muhammad Atiq has a question saying that ACCA Pakistan start WhatsApp group for cook updates. So Atiq, yes, there are WhatsApp groups in place. You can message me. I can share my cell number with all of you afterwards. We can put you in some WhatsApp groups. There are 2 WhatsApp groups being organized, which Umar has started with be organizing by him. But there are other WhatsApp groups coming from each city also. So for example, we have a WhatsApp group for members in KP, for members in the south in Karachi, for members in Faistabad, for members in Multan, so and members in Islamabad. So these WhatsApp groups exist, and we can always make you member of one of the WhatsApp groups that you like to be a part of. Mubashira Mazhar saying, due to this COVID pandemic, many organizations have freezed their hiring and new opportunities are reduced for ACCAs. Also, many organizations have cut pay scales and even members are forced to work for 20 to 30,000 rupees. Do you suggest ACCA members to, what do you suggest ACCA members to do in such a situation where they are paid less than unskilled workers? Sajid, I mean, in fact, 3 of you, if you would like to answer to this question, Sajid, Ayla, and Omar. But before you try to answer, just give you a quick point. If you continuously or regularly look at the job insights, there are organizations which are continuously hiring also. and they're hiring for good positions as well. So those opportunities are available. Even the job fair that was being held today, I think a record number of employers joined this virtual career fair, for their hiring needs. So any of the panelists, if they would like to answer, or if Arsalan wants to come in, who's heading our employability society, we'll appreciate that also.
I think Ayla wants to say something, then I'll add on, then we'll get Arsalan.
Yeah, thank you, Umar. So, I mean, these are very tough times for everyone, for organizations, for individuals, for everyone, even for like when we look at the challenges in the resources available to institutions, to governments, to individuals. Everybody is facing a lot of challenge, and some have lost their jobs, unfortunately. Some have taken a pay cut. So the supply chain disruptions that has taken place globally, that has impacted businesses, that has impacted revenues, and of course there are some organizations that have chosen not to do any sort of downsizing or cut down. And my personal take on this is that we should support that as much as anyone can, and that's actually making an investment. So I mean, I will share something that I learned last evening. I was interviewing CEO of a very large company in Bangladesh, Beximco CEO. We were having a session on leadership and adversity, and that organization, he said, they have 40,000 employees. They haven't laid off not a single person, and not even a job cut. And his view was long term, that hopefully things will get better. And after they get better, his organization will be ready to sort of perform in the best manner. Whereas a lot of organizations that may have laid off people, or may they have scaled down, cut down, in some cases that could lead to fractured organizations as well. Now, having said this, it is of course not an individual's decision. Some businesses have chosen to do that. Not only yes, to some extent in Pakistan as well, but globally in many places they have furloughs taken place as well. Leave without pay has taken place. Many other things. I would say that I mean, to immediately, to practically, I think we all need to then look at that, how, because when you do not have that extra piece of income, you need to be practically need to look at that, how can you cut down on any of your extra expenses. But at the same time, now being in this virtual world, there are opportunities available for full-time as well as part-time work as well. You can pick up something that does not conflict with your existing work, and that can sort of give you a sort of that additional piece of income. And if you want to sort of discuss with your colleagues, your friends, people in your circle who may want to sort of join hands with you, you could, I mean, if it does not conflict with your work, you can look at creating, addressing a problem which can lead to then setting up a small business. So, and then there are sort of, you need to really sort of stay in a positive mindset. I know it can be mentally very exhausting, very challenging, but hopefully things will get better, and we need to stay resolute, we need to stay positive. These are tough times for everyone, and I think my colleagues can share some of their thoughts. So Omar, over to you.
Umar, quick
Thank you, Ayla.
answers from both of you, because we have to move on to the next presentation now.
Yep.
Any quick suggestion from your side, and then Arsalan?
Well, I think Ayla has very beautifully elaborated the dynamics as well as the solution. There's not much left to say. I'll just briefly share what the MNP is doing and something that I've taken during my association with 6-Digit from Sajid's lecture to the participants. I think that would be very valuable here. Harun has already shared about the job fair that is going on. So if you haven't checked that out, do check that out. It's gonna be happening till 8 p.m. tonight. In addition to what Ayla has suggested, and that's very pertinent advice, MNP for the first time in consultation with ACCA Pakistan created 9 societies and subcommittees, and one of them was specifically focused on employability. We also had another subcommittee which was focused on guiding the members any issues that they were facing in their careers. Uh, After me, we have Arsalan, who is my vice chair, a dear friend and head of this employability society, who would guide you a bit more about this. And the society is so active, it is also helping members get employments. But remember one thing, think from a business point of view, perspective. It's what you bring to the table. The thing that I was referring about Sajid sharing is something that is very close to my heart. If you are just doing the job that you are supposed to do, you are not doing anything extra. You might be thinking, oh, I'm doing my job, but that's why you were hired. Nobody hires you because you are bad. You are hired on the expectation that you'll be able to do your job. So if you are just doing that, you are just meeting the bare minimum. You need to go beyond the call of duty. What you are bringing to the table, what value you are adding. I'll briefly share that in our firm, and we are very, very proud that we are the pioneer ACCA and practicing and law practicing firm in not the Pakistan but entire South Asian region. We haven't fired anyone. On the contrary, we have increased the packages of some of the members, some of our employees. Why? It's the value that they are delivering to us. And some of us, them came in this pandemic and brought additional value to the table in terms of softer skill, digital value. So if you are bringing value to the table, no employer in this world can choose to ignore you. You have to think what will be the value that you'll be bringing to the table and think in terms of additional opportunities like Ayla mentioned. I hope this advice adds value. Over to you, Harun, to get Arsalan's feedback on this.
Yes, Arsalan, if you can unmute yourself and quickly advise about the current situation, about the question.
हाँ जी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। सबसे पहले जो आयला ने कहा वो बिल्कुल आई एग्री कि इट इज़ वेरी टफ टाइम फॉर द एम्प्लॉइज। सम एम्प्लॉइज लॉस्ट देयर जॉब्स और कुछ एम्प्लॉयज जो हैं ऑब्वियसली लाइक सैलरीज में कट फेस कर रहे हैं। इसमें जो मेरी सबसे मतलब जो मैं सजेशन देना चाहूँगा वो ये देना चाहूँगा कि इसमें जो जॉब हंटिंग है, देखिए बहुत सी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो हैं उन्होंने डाउन साइजिंग तो की है, बट उसके साथ साथ बहुत सारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं जो हायरिंग भी कर रही हैं, और मैं इस तरह की ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को भी जानता हूँ जो इंक्रीमेंट्स प्लस प्रमोशंस भी ऑफर कर रही हैं इस टफ टाइम में। तो इसमें जो जॉब हंटिंग है, बेसिकली जो जॉब हंटिंग है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा रेलेवेंट होनी चाहिए। हम बेसिकली जो जॉब सर्च कर रहे होते हैं, जो हमारी एसएससी फ्रेटर्निटी जो इसमें मतलब प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रही है इन दिनों, उनको ये चाहिए कि वो जो अपनी जॉब हंटिंग है वो उसको काफ़ी ज़्यादा कंसाइज और रेलेवेंट करें। मतलब इसमें इस तरह से नहीं करना कि जो भी जॉब नज़र आ रही है उसमें अप्लाई करें, उसको रेलेवेंट करें, उसको कंसाइज करें, और जो आपसे मैच करती है लाइक जो रूल्स एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ उसमें जो है अप्लाई करें। अगर स्टिल किसी को कोई गाइडेंस लेना चाहता है तो ऑब्वियसली हरून आपके पास कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर जो है आप शेयर कर सकते हैं बात।
Thank you very much, Arsalan. Once again, introducing you to all the members who've present, who joined us. Arsalan is our vice chair of the MNP, and he also heads the Employability Society, which has been put in place to help members who want employability support. This is one of the helps that ACC can extend, and this society has been very actively working. Now, going further, there are other questions, but most of them are about subscriptions and about payments and other things. But most of these questions will be answered as we go through the rest of the presentation. So, Ayla, if we come to you now, please share the global perspective. What is ACCA being done, and messages from your side. So over to you. Let me just very quickly mute myself, and I'll put you on the next slide.
Thank you, Harun. Assalamu alaikum and hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here speaking to everyone joining virtually. These are tough times, interesting times, and but hopefully we all will get over this and be much more stronger we need to stay positive and think positive. And this is what the message has been from ACCA right from the outset, when the pandemic started, and when we started to hear that how it's affecting starting from China. ACCA, as you know, it's a global body. We are present in over 120 countries with our student, our future members, and our members, and our ACCS teams all over the world. So it affected ACCA to the scale perhaps very few organizations were affected this pandemic. So just to sort of give you an overview of how ACCA got down to acting very swiftly on this, both at local level, as Harun mentioned, at the country level, at Pakistan level, and also at the global level. Just to give you a sense of ACCA's governance structure, which you perhaps might be aware, but I'll just still share with you again. So ACCA's governance structure is composed of ACCA's council. Council is composed of about 39 members at present. And these 39 members are elected from all over the world. And the mandate of these members is to represent the entire membership body. So it is not country specific, but interestingly enough, the representation is such that it's a very diverse and a very healthy group of individuals. So I'll just sort of share with you quickly that from amongst these 39 members, what are the sectors that we cover and what are the regions that we cover. So the sectors that we cover corporate, we cover education, we cover practice, we cover professional services, as well as the public sector. And until recently, we had a member of the parliament also who was a member of the council. So in terms of the region, we have Africa, we have emerging markets, we have China, we have Europe and Americas, we have ASEAN, we have Australia, New Zealand, we have Middle East, and we have South Asia. So it's a very diverse group. I was elected on the council in 2014, so I'm serving my second term. So over years, ACCA had been working on improving and strengthening its governance structure even further. And as an outcome of a very detailed deliberation, a very detailed exercise with a lot of input from experts and from amongst the council members as well, ACCA further enhanced and restructured its governance structure. And now, in addition to the council, first, obviously, the council used to be 36 members. Now it is being expanded to have more representation and more voices. There is an additional tier created, which is called the council board. The council board is composed of 8 individuals. There are 3 of them are council officers, the president, the deputy president as the vice president, and 3 members from the broader council, as well as 2 independent members. And the idea to bring in the independent members is to, of course, have more sort of view, more of an outsider view, and to see that where we sort of we remain very agile, very relevant, and we should have absolute independence and also sort of thinking forward. So on the council board, so amongst the 3 council members, in addition to council officers, I'm one of them as well. And we have 2 additional members. One is Lorraine Holloway, she's based in Qatar, and we have Dato Nasser, he's based in Malaysia. So when the board was sort of set up, and beginning of this year, we were last year we were only able to have 1 meeting in person, and soon after this pandemic hit. So we still had to work, we still had to be very active. So all the council meetings, all the board meetings, they have been held, and they are being held virtually. And these are very detailed and lengthy deliberations, and a lot of them are about strategy and what is that we need to do. We need to act fast, and then making changes, setting targets, etc. All of that. And everything is around acting in the members' best interest. So, so just to sort of the idea to give you this background is that whatever is being done, it is for ACCA's members' interest. how to make them be even further skilled, looking after them in terms of all different ways, including their employability, including upping their skill set, etc., many other things. So moving on, so ACCA is all about sort of getting feedback from its members, from its larger fraternity and all its stakeholders. It is about listening, and it is about getting insights from everyone involved. And that is why the members network panel here in Pakistan, that is very important, which gives feedback from Pakistan to the council, and sort of these recommendations, they are very important, and then they're fed into sort of devising the strategy. Now, in terms of ACC has ensured that we sort of stay connected, something that Sajid mentioned earlier as well. And in this scenario, when we cannot meet in person, we need to stay connected virtually. And ACCA has come up with a lot of resources and a lot of areas where ACCA was already working on. But in addition to that, there are areas where ACCA has been putting in a lot of effort so that members can benefit from this in these challenging times. So these are at a very high level. So these 12 areas that are highlighted on your screen, these are CPD resources. This is guidance with regards to the policy, support for SMEs. There are various webinars that are being undertaken. Some of them are country specific, some of them are global in nature. And because a lot of issues that are there, they sort of affect many people at a similar sort of level, at a similar scale. And one of the members who gave the suggestion of the mental health, I think this is such an important area, and ACCA has been talking about this and sharing resources, doing webinars, and I completely hear that we should do that even more. Now, in terms of how different businesses, different sectors are affected, there are a lot of good resources available. ACCA has done reports, ACCA has been providing insights. The COVID hub that is created, I would urge those who those who are already engaged, or those who haven't engaged, to look at that even in further detail. ACCA is working a lot in advocacy, supporting members, looking at what are the business tools that members require, in terms of also looking at the financial situation of the members where they need support. So there are some existing areas, like there's a benevolent fund which is for hardship, etc. But towards the end of the presentation, I'll talk about specific support, and I can understand that members have this very valid concern of in this particular area. Now, business planning, how people need to get out of this these dynamics, and how to address, how to respond to these challenges. So these 12 areas, and there are sort of many sort of detailed work, detailed resources available. And if there are additional suggestions, ACCA is very open, and we will be working on this. Yeah. So moving on. Yes. So members resources. Okay. So all right. Okay. So Harun, are you changing my slides, because there was a little? Okay, fine. So so ACCA is constantly sort of sharing resources and many other sort of insights through its article, through its resources. You would have received the digital form of AB just now, and there are some really good articles, and that's, I mean, that's always been the case, but even now specifically. And interestingly enough, the challenges that are there with regards to how people need to work from home and how they need to sort of recalibrate their organizations, some of the members have actually shared their experiences there. That do we need to have the same kind of offices? Do we need to sort of work in the same manner? Do we need to do a hybrid or work from home and working from offices. So there are many interesting ideas as well. So a lot of webinars have been held. There are 250 plus webinars have been held. There are several more that are planned. Harun mentioned about ACCA careers. Omar also alluded to that a bit. I'll be talking about that as well. So, and also then working with the employers as well. So that's an additional area where employers are being supported also. Yeah. So moving on, obviously there are now with regards to there are a lot of CPD resources available from ACC's platform as well as from partner platforms as well. And that's where ACCA members and individuals, they can strengthen their skills, and at the same time they can sort of complete their requirement of CPD as well. So CPD is just not for numbers. It is, the idea behind this is basically to add value to what we are doing and to our own knowledge and to stay relevant. So I think that's something that all of us, we can really benefit from. Okay. Now this now in the virtual scenario, the CPD doesn't only have to be available at the local level. There is a lot that is available in different parts of the world. So this is what so people can access to that as well. And given the network that we have, you can actually reach out to members in different parts of the world and learn from them and about an area where they may be working and where you may be aspiring to. And somebody mentioned about technology and e-commerce, and of course we understand that that's such a big area now that going forward, that's going to be even a more relevant area of work. So and members are already working on this, while ACCA will take cognizance of this. Reach out to people on LinkedIn, on other platforms, so that you can see how they are doing their job, and you can bring learnings from that. Harun, I'm unable to, no, yeah, all right, fine. I can do that. All right. So with regards to COVID hub is something that I mentioned. So use that resource, use that tool, and that is being continuously updated. Now, in terms of the to support members in their employability, so ACCA has launched a career fair, and it's happening as we speak now, and this is joined by employers as well as ACCA members. And the idea is to stay connected and sort of share. There are people who are posting online their resumes. Some are being interviewed virtually. There are organizations that are sharing their presentations about their sort of the future prospects that are there for members. So it's kind of very interactive. So it's a great tool. And this virtual seminar or this virtual career fair, not only happening in Pakistan, it's sort of happening globally. And these virtual dynamics, they actually provide an opportunity that sitting from your home, you can actually work for a country which is thousands of miles apart. So your employment opportunities, the scale of your employment opportunities, that has really enhanced actually. It was already there, but I think we are now more mindful of this. So this is the timeline for what's happening in different countries. So there is a mention of like where it started in Ireland on 11th of April, and across all the world. In Pakistan, it's happening on the 16th. It's going to cover Greater China, going all the way to Africa. So doing an entire circle, doing the full loop. And so look at that, how you can maximize and how you can learn. And for those who may not be looking for an employment opportunity, it will give you a sense that what are the trends globally, what are the key areas of work that people are looking at, so that can perhaps give you additional ideas that how you can bring that here to home. All right. So, one other area that I would like to mention, and I would like to congratulate all of those who have been involved, and I think ACCA Pakistan's team has done a remarkable work, and it was a journey of a few years that they and now it is yielding results, and that is the partnership with ICMAP. So this is about localizing the profession, that bringing in the global expertise to the local market, and also forging local partnerships. Now, what is this partnership about? It is about providing opportunities to members of both bodies through offering joint CPDs, through joint collaborations, and also providing an additional opportunity for ACCA members to sort of go into practice by this collaborative sort of mode. And this is not just a regular MOU. This is something very special. There is a joint oversight in this as well. So there is a joint oversight board that ICMAP and ACCA has created. And from ACCA's side, there are 3 board members. The head of ACCA Pakistan, Sajid Aslam, he's a board member. And we have another colleague with us from Malaysia, Dato Lok Peng. He is a very senior and a very experienced member. He's with us on the board, and I am also on this board. And the idea is to sort of work on a strategy how we can further strengthen and provide oversight to this arrangement as well. Okay. Okay. Like I mentioned right at the beginning, that the members' interest is really at the heart, not only of our existing members, but of our future members as well. So recognizing and understanding that how does ACCA need to respond to its members, and understanding that what are the concerns, what are the issues, because we know that a lot of people have been financially affected as well. Some of them may have been furloughed. Some of them may have had job cuts. Some of them may have salary cuts. So to understand all of these issues and to support members and to support our future members as well, there are very targeted interventions that are taking place, and it's happening in many different parts of the world and also in Pakistan as well. I would encourage all members to look at their ACCA portals, and also reach out to ACCA customer service. And if they are facing any kind of hardship, discuss their personal circumstances, and ACCA will support them. So some of these supports that are there, that the subscription, which was supposed to be paid by end of the year 2019, the deadline has been extended till end of September. And there is also an option for making part payments. So that they can sort of so members who feel burdened, they are sort of helped. And not only that, if there are any other specific sort of issues that you still may have, reach out to ACCA, and ACCA will look at your targeted help. So the criteria for reduced subscription has also been made flexible. So previously it used to be there is a certain threshold, but now that has been changed, that has been made flexible, so that maximum benefit. So we're not only talking about paying the full subscription in part. Some members may already be able to qualify, but I think for that, it will be wise, it will be important that you speak to the ACCA team, the customer service, and they will tell you, and you can discuss with them as to how specifically you can benefit from this. So members facing hardship due to salary cuts for and layoffs, they can also avail the reduced subscription. So there are two areas, which is the deferred subscription, then there are reduced subscription, and then very soon ACCA will be reaching out, and there'll be there are already campaigns launched for targeted support as well. So these are some of the messages that I would like to give to you, that at the global level as well as the local level, this is something that is at the core of what ACC is about. It is about community, it is about collaboration, it is about working jointly, something that Sajid started with. I think with these values we are working on, and reach out, stay connected, and with this people can seek help, and I hope and I wish all the best to everyone in these tough times. We are in it together, and hopefully, inshallah, we will come out of this together in a very positive manner. Thank you, Harun.
Thank you very much, Ayla. Great information, great web sharings. Just one correction, that is that the extension for subscription deadline is not till the end of September, it's till the beginning of September. Yeah, there is no specific deadline available at the moment, but we've been told it's going to be till the beginning of September. The benefit, so very quickly, if I can point out before we take questions, is that if, let's suppose, you're facing a job cut, or sorry, a salary cut or a job layoff, you may apply for reduced subscription, and even that reduced subscription can be paid in parts. You don't have to make a lump sum payment. You can schedule your payments by yourself and make sure that by September you've paid off the dues. So it has been made quite flexible. This part payment option is available to every member every year. This is a consistent offer. So you really have, I mean, you really have time till November, from November till April, April the next year, every year, to schedule your payments. You don't have to make the payment one day before the deadline on, on the 22nd of April, because that's the normal cutoff. You can schedule your payments. So in November, you get to know the amount that you have to pay. You can pay part in November, December, January, February, March, and then by April, please make sure that your payments are taken care of. And Ayla, thank you very much for mentioning about reduced subscription. I think that's a big favor, and ACCA is quite flexible. I would like to announce that even those individuals, even those members who had applied recently for reduced subscription before COVID, if their circumstances have changed, they can apply for reduced subscription. Those who've made the subscription payments, they can apply for reduced subscription for the next year now. So with that, we will go back to questions once again. And if you have any questions, please. Oh, loads of questions. So we'll just take 10 minutes to answer some of these questions, and then we move on to Umar's presentation, after which we will go back to questions once again. Okay, so from the last question, there are members who wanted to join the WhatsApp groups. I think that will be taken care of. Thank you very much for your messages. By the way, all the questions that you're typing in, they're being logged. So they will stay with us. Don't worry, these questions will stay with us. And if you've left any information, we will pick it up and we'll work accordingly. Okay, there's a question from Anas Zubair. I think, Anas, your question about waiving off reduced subscription has been answered. Ayla has explained the reduced subscription policy, the flexibility there in quite detail. So that's available. Also the part payment option. Syed Sharek Hussain is saying he wants to be a part of member groups. Okay, note it down. We will reach out to members very soon and ask and share all the information about all the groups that are there, and so that you can choose the ones that you want to be a part of. Okay. There's a detailed question by Daniel Jaffrey. If I can very quickly read the question, saying currently there is minimal understanding of employers regarding the distinction between ACCA affiliates and ACCA members. As a new member, there is more noticeable, sorry, as a new member, this is more noticeable as there is practically no recognition by employers about the difference between affiliates and members. Both are simply considered as ACCA qualified. Now, the question is ACCA doing something to increase awareness of this amongst employers? So let me take a first go on this. I mean, Daniel, this is an extremely important question. I would say a question that is very, very painful and pinching to us, and equally should be to every member out there. First of all, this term, ACCA qualified, has become a misnomer in Pakistan particularly. ACCA qualified is the term which it's not an official status. It is a term that is broadly used to describe an ACCA member. There is no such term as ACCA qualified available for an affiliate. An affiliate is to be considered a student only, and therefore does not enjoy the benefits that an ACCA member does. So that should be very, very clear. Now, what has ACCA done about it? I think this is something that we have discussed extensively in our MNP meetings. And Umar, I'd like you to confirm that this was a key concern. But at the same time, what ACCA started doing was that we started to write to all the employers that we were in touch with, all the approved employers, all the non-approved employers. Emails जा रही होती हैं, letters जा रहे होते हैं, telling them what is meant by an active member versus a suspended member. Number one, कि जो member suspend हो जाता है उसका क्या risk है, और जो active member है उसका क्या benefit है if an employer is to hire him or her. And number two, affiliate क्या होता है और active member क्या होता है. So this is adequately being done, but then inshallah in future, Daniel, since you've pointed this out, this is a step, this is something that we will further elaborate to employers. We will make sure that every employer knows this. But there are thousands and thousands of employers in Pakistan. Probably it'll take us years to get through to each and every employer and explain it to them. So how can we do this rather quickly? I think the answer lies with all the members themselves. So if you are an active member, please go back to your CFO. Please go back to your head of the organization. Please go back to your HR department and explain to them what an active member means. Explain to them what a member in good standing means. Tell them that whenever you are hiring, please ask the individual to share a current letter of good standing with the organization. That letter of good standing, current letter of good standing, is a proof that the person is an active member of ACCA. Okay, so please use those facilities. Those letter of good standings are available through your My ACCA account. So anybody who is an active member can go back, take a printout of this letter and present it to the employer. जो हमारी efforts थी उनका क्या नतीजा निकला, उसका outcome ये भी निकला कि अब कई employers, and I can name them, MCB Bank for example, major banks, government departments, मुझे बड़ी खुशी हुई कि गिलगित बल्तिस्तान का जो secretariat है उन्होंने एक individual को senior position पे hire किया, and they, once the probation was over, they came to us asking in member ka please updated status हमें बताएं if he's a current member of the accounting body. So हमारा message has already started spreading far and wide, but इसमें बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत करने की जरूरत है. Please remember, the ACCA member ka title is something that ACCA itself will protect, but it is something that all the ACCA members should also protect. Okay, you should be policing the status. Nobody should be using the 4 letters after their names unnecessarily without having completed the qualification and having become an ACCA member. I think this is a very, very important topic that you brought up. Sajid and Omar, would you like to say anything about it? And Ayla, of course.
So
Sure.
I'll just add just a little bit here. Daniel, I think this is something very important. And like Harun mentioned, that the scale is such that it is not only easy for ACCA itself to manage. I think all members within their organization should promote this. And in addition to what Harun said, explaining to your employer what this is, also get this incorporated in your organization's HR policies. And I think additionally, what is very important is to communicate to the employer that what is the benefit that they get from the from an approved or sort of like an active member, and that is with regards to the support that they get from ACCA, and also the support that the member, the individual gets, and also is able to undertake all the CPD and also enhance his or her skill. So that skill will obviously then contribute to the work and then ultimately to the organization. It should be also viewed from that lens as well. Um, I mean, in some cases, policing may work, but I think if you're able to show the value to the organization, that is very important. And let's all say, and once you build that culture, I think then and this will then encourage a lot of people who feel that they can keep on using the ACCA title while they are not for if it is because of their own choice, that will also encourage them to come back as well. So I think this is something that we can collectively work on. Thank you.
And I can share this from MNP's perspective that this has been very close to our hearts and on MNP's agenda for some time. And ACCA Pakistan has teams specially working on this. But like both Harun and Ayla has shared, that it's a job for us members to ensure that more and more employers understand the benefits and the differences. And at the end of the day, in addition to the brand value of the association, it would bring individual benefits to each and every member who is actually properly following everything and furthering their career. On our parts, MNP has not only been advising this and propagating this, but going beyond the call of duty, we have asked all the MNP members to play their part, all the heads of all the societies, all the committees, everyone to do their bit. So following on the lead of Isla and what Harun shared, I would urge you all to do your part for this too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all of you. I think sufficiently addressed, but a very good and very important question, Tanya. Thank you for bringing it up. The next question, and we're only going to take three more questions there, although there are quite a few of them, but then we will take the rest of them after Omar's presentation. This question is from Arif Javed, and Arif is saying that if somebody has not completed the CPD requirement for 2019, can they do it now? And can they carry it back to 2000 and to the previous year? All right, let me answer this question in a particular way. Um, if you have, I mean, in many instances, when members call me up asking me, oh, I have not been able to attend any CPD courses during the year. There was pandemic, there was other issues. And when I ask them about, all right, what have you been doing at work? What are the activities that you're performing, etc., etc., I can literally quote around 10 instances per individual where they are completing the CPD requirement. Remember, ACCA's CPD requirement is not just around attending seminars and conferences, right? Every webinar, if you attend it live, automatically it's become verifiable CPD, right? So please remember, तीन factors हैं जो कि अगर आप address कर देते हैं तो वो activity it can be known as a verifiable CPD activity. Number one, is there an evidence that you have attended this event? Number two, can you tell us if this activity was related to your job, right? And number three, what have you achieved by completing this training and taking the knowledge back to your work. अगर आप इन 3 questions के answers कर देते हैं, तो this automatically becomes verifiable CPD. Okay, इसके बाद ये डिस्कशन कि इसका क्या सोर्स था, ये कोर्सेरा से की गई या ये यूडेमी पे की गई एटसेट्रा, ऑल दोज आर आंसर. अगर आप एक यूडेमी का कोर्स विद अ सर्टिफिकेट and an explanation from your side that you have this was relevant to you, and number 2, what was the benefit that you received as a result of, or what was the learning that you took back to your work and benefited from it. If you can answer that, that automatically becomes CPD. लेकिन इसके अलावा बहुत सी ऐसी चीजें हैं. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर आप किसी ACCA के ट्रेनी को मेंटोर कर रहे हैं अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, दैट इज CPD, वेरीफाइबल CPD. अगर आप एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी लेवल की मीटिंग को अटेंड कर रहे हैं, स्ट्रैटेजी लेवल की मीटिंग को, ऑपरेशनल मीटिंग नहीं, स्ट्रैटेजी लेवल की मीटिंग अटेंड करते हैं अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की, दैट इज वेरीफाइबल CPD फॉर यू. अगर आप एक आर्टिकल AB मैगजीन में हर माह में आता है, 11 एडिशंस, तो 11 CPD यूनिट्स तो यही अवेलेबल हैं. उसके अंदर 3 क्वेश्चंस दिए होते हैं. अगर आप उन क्वेश्चंस को आंसर करके उनको सबमिट करा देते हैं, राइट, दैट इज वन वेरीफाइबल CPD यूनिट गिवन टू यू. अगर आपने कोई एडिशनल प्रोग्राम इन एडिशन टू, उसका लेवल ACCA से ऊपर होना चाहिए, अगर आपने कोई ऐसा प्रोग्राम अटेंड किया है, that is verifiable CPD. अगर आपने कोई ट्रेनिंग कंडक्ट की है, that is verifiable CPD for you. अगर आपने कोई ACCA का कोर्स प्रोफेशनल लेवल का पढ़ाया है, राइट, उसकी प्रिपरेशन में जो टाइम आपने स्पेंड किया, that is verifiable CPD. So there are so many options. It is not necessarily कि मैंने कोई वेबिनार अटेंड किया या मैंने कोई सेमिनार अटेंड किया या मैं किसी कॉन्फ्रेंस का पार्ट था. ये सिर्फ ये नहीं है CPD के सोर्सेस. CPD के और बहुत से सोर्सेस हैं. तो इसके लिए एक आर्टिकल पड़ा हुआ है ACCA की वेबसाइट पे, आप उसको अगर देख लेंगे तो आपको समझ आ जाएगी. आरिफ, आपका जहां तक क्वेश्चन है कि पिछले साल की CPD आपने कंप्लीट करनी है, तो यस, दैट इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी. प्लीज रिमेंबर, अगर आप 2 कंसेक्यूटिव या 2 सालों की CPD आपने कंप्लीट नहीं की, तो आपको ACCA की मेंबरशिप से रिमूव कर दिया जाता है. ओके, प्लीज रिमेंबर, अगर आपने 2 सालों की CPD कंप्लीट नहीं की, 1 साल पे आपको वार्निंग्स दी जाती है, दूसरे साल पे आपको ACCA की मेंबरशिप से सस्पेंड कर दिया जाता है, इवन इफ यू हैव पेड ऑल योर सब्सक्रिप्शन एंड ड्यूज. ओके, सो मैंने 2 क्वेश्चंस आंसर कर दिए. तीसरा क्वेश्चन है ईमान की तरफ से, एनी गाइडेंस इफ यू कैन गिव अबाउट द टेक्निक्स ऑफ गेटिंग जॉब अब्रॉड, that is Canada, UK, Australia, being an ACCA member working here in Pakistan. So ईमान, सबसे पहली बात तो ये है कि ACCA careers सबसे अच्छा सोर्स है आप लोगों के लिए टू गेट अ जॉब अब्रॉड. एंड नंबर 2, अगर आप ACCA careers की वेबसाइट पे जाएं तो वहां पर ACCA ने डिफरेंट कंट्रीज की मोबिलिटी की टूल किट्स भी रखी हुई है, राइट. सो अगर आपको कनाडा की मार्केट को सही से समझने की जरूरत है, अगर आपको उनके इमिग्रेशन प्रोसेसेस को समझने की जरूरत है, तो ACCA ने ये टूल किट्स प्लेस की हुई हैं अपनी वेबसाइट पे और ACCA करियर्स पे, जहां से आपको उन कंट्रीज की स्पेसिफिक इंफॉर्मेशन मिल सकती है. फॉर एग्जांपल, उस कंट्री में लर्निंग प्रोवाइडर्स कौन से हैं, उस कंट्री के अप्रूव्ड एम्प्लॉयर्स कौन से हैं, उस कंट्री के अंदर ACCA ऑफिसेस कहाँ कहाँ हैं, उन ऑफिसेस में कौन लोग काम कर रहे हैं, क्या उस कंट्री की इमिग्रेशन पॉलिसी क्या है, इमिग्रेशन रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या हैं. अगर आप अपनी फैमिली के साथ मूव कर रहे हैं तो उधर अच्छे स्कूल्स कौन से हैं. अगर आप अपने बच्चों के स्कूल से सेटिस्फाइड हैं, अच्छा, तो हेल्थ की फैसिलिटीज कैसी हैं, क्या हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस अवेलेबल है कि नहीं. सो ये सब क्वेश्चंस यू विल बी सरप्राइज कि अबाउट एटलीस्ट अबाउट 6 डिफरेंट मार्केट्स जहां पर ACCA के मेंबर्स नॉर्मली माइग्रेट करके जाते हैं, उन कंट्रीज की टूल किट्स जो हैं ये अवेलेबल हैं, एंड दीज विल बी वेरी बेनिफिशियल. अगर आपको कोई नहीं मिल रही हो तो प्लीज हमें एक ईमेल करें एंड वी विल बी एबल टू गिव यू द आंसर. अच्छा जी, अब हमें थोड़ी सी देर हो रही है फॉर द नेक्स्ट प्रेजेंटेशन, और उमर की खासी डिटेल्ड प्रेजेंटेशन है. One very brief window of any other comment that Ayla, yourself, or Umar would like to make about the questions that I have answered already. Otherwise, we move on to Umar's presentation.
I'll just very quickly add to what you've answered. In some countries, there are specific requirements with regards to the practice as well. So while you will be undertaking your research, perhaps you yourself may need to carry out an activity or two, or probably address that additional requirement. So do a bit of research and targeted research, and you may find that in order to sort of work probably in Australia and New Zealand, there's an additional piece of work or an additional skill or an additional requirement that you need to meet. So you should also invest your time in doing that, while of course searching for jobs, but you may need to sort of address those as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Umar, I'm handing over the control to you now, and you can now move slides. I'm going on mute, and over to you for your presentation. Let me take you to your slides. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
We're ready to go. It's over to you.
Thank you, Harun. I think this has been going really well. A lot of interesting questions, shows the level of interest of our members. Well, you have already listened to some very good presentations. Firstly, by Sajid on the challenges during this pandemic, then by Ayla on the global initiatives. I'll run you through some of the initiatives and important steps that your MNP has been doing for the betterment of the members, how we are advising ACCA Pakistan, how we have been collaborating, how we are communicating your sentiments and your feedbacks to our council. Harun, I'm unable to see the control for the slides.
Let me try to fix it for you.
Okay, it's active now. Thank you. So our members and our future members remain at the core of ACCA's new strategy 2025. Member engagement and the various opportunities ACCA provides are of most importance for us, because not only it provides us an opportunity to engage with the members, it also provides an opportunity to our members to get back to us. Can I request all the panelists to mute their mics? There's some distortions in some. Okay, carrying on. First of all, we have digital and face-to-face communities. So we have online pages on various social media networks. We also have WhatsApp groups, as was mentioned. It was a pleasure that in collaboration with ACCA Pakistan, I was honored to launch the first WhatsApp groups. And then, as Harun mentioned with you, we motivated members, and now we have individual pages for almost all the major cities in Pakistan. Then we have online webinars, and similarly we have face-to-face communities. We have discussed about the 6-digit program. We used to have the Thursday huddles and many other initiatives. Similarly, Think Ahead with ACCA is another platform that has been happening for quite some time. Member advocates have been encouraged by ACCA, and I'll be talking more about this initiative. This is just a quick overview, so I'll quickly run through these slides. 6 digits will be discussed in more details. Similarly, CPD webinars. We have covered a lot of CPD programs. Sajid also shared with you that we have been having international CPDs. Harun shared with you how the CPDs from other markets were shared in Pakistan too, instead of reinventing the wheels. But that was not all. We also identified areas where our members can benefit. For example, local laws and taxation, which many members thought was an area where we needed improvements. So we did a lot of sessions on that too. And it is my pleasure to share with you that our taxation committee, which I'm honored to be heading in addition to chairing MNP, has been very active. Just this Saturday, just last day of the weekend, we had a session, a post-budget session, which all of you would be really happy, and Ayla, you'd feel real proud that ACCA Pakistan was the first professional body in Pakistan to conduct the post-budget session immediately after the budget was made public. And not only that, we did it with such quality and coverage that we were receiving a wonderful feedback from the attendees. And I would also like to share with you that some of our attendees were members of other professional bodies. So that is also something which is really good, because ACC always encourage collaboration. Similarly, before that, we had the uh, tax package. Some people refer that to as the tax amnesty too for the construction industry. ACCA was again the first professional body to conduct a CPD on that too. And again, we had a wide range of attendees and a wonderful feedback. So this is just to stress the importance of these activities and these resources that ACCA is delivering for its members at no cost. So if you are to actually skill up yourself, brush up your skill, try to gain these skills and attend similar CPDs. Different organizations are charging in tens of thousands even for similar CPDs. So ACCA is providing all that content, all that level of engagement, and that too as a leader, immediately without much delay, to its member without any cost. Now it's so up to us as members to actually make use of that, take benefit of that. If you even missed the live session, the recordings are available later on, as Harun said, on ACCA's on platform of GoToWebinar. Or if you are more familiar with YouTube, they are later on put on YouTube too. They are also available on social media channels of our MNP members. I also place on my social media channels. So, I mean, it's widely available, and you can you can make use of this and take time out to actually brush up your skills, which in turn would help you to earn and command better packages. ACC's partnership events, there have been numerous. Some of them have already been mentioned. Ayla also mentioned about some of the important ones, and I'll be talking about more of them later on. ACC has also been holding conferences in major towns. So we held major ones in Peshawar, Faisalabad, and Multan before the pandemic spread, and we were bound by the lockdown and couldn't continue that. The customer services is always there to help our members. And I was informed by Harun that we will be joined by our relevant team members later on, and hopefully we'll get some time to let them interact with our members if that would be possible at the end. And then MNP and subcommittees. MNP is a member advisory platform. The prime purpose of MNP is to advise the council members who draw up the strategy, as well as ACCA Pakistan, about the members' aspiration, about the upcoming trends, about what members believe could be a beneficial path, thinking ahead in line with ACCS policies. Although that is the prime responsibility, but we have been very lucky in that not only we have a very passionate team of MNP members, but we also have very supportive ACC officials. So for example, for the first time, we had 9 subcommittees and societies. So we had a separate one addressing women in finance, being a core agenda of ACCA's policies. We had a taxation one focusing on our local laws and taxation. We had a corporate governance banking, corporate governance non-banking. We had the advisory one, employability, teaching, etc., etc. And the brilliant thing was that ACCA Pakistan, particularly Sajid and Harun, really supported, so much so that we agreed to the extent to involve these heads to actually empower them by the support of MNP's chair, the support of ACCA Pakistan's head and head of member affairs, to engage in their relevant activities by ACCA Pakistan, to advise and actually work beyond even the call of duty to make certain initiatives happen. And some wonderful work has been happening over the last few years, and I'll be sharing some important bits from the last year. So we held several taxation CPDs, and in-person events, I would like to highlight 6 of the major taxation events that were held in Lahore, Multan, Peshawar, Karachi, Islamabad, Faisalabad, and our aim was to actually hold even more events had the pandemic not hit us. But nevertheless, we are still having more online events. And let me share with you that there were some fantastic initiatives about these events. Number one, we had ACCA members as the core speakers. So that is something good that has been happening. We are actually ensuring that the taxation fraternity is now appreciating that ACCA is not just competent, but actually a leading player in the field of taxation, which is really groundbreaking and opening opportunities for our members. Then secondly, all of these events have been high profile. So the panels included members of other professional bodies. It included CEOs, it included directors, it included partners of Big Four, etc., etc. Then we also held conferences across Pakistan. You can see on your screen a snapshot of the conference we held in Peshawar, and you had the provincial finance minister, Mr. Jagra, that you can see in front of you. It was the first conference in a series of initiatives that ACC held across Pakistan. These brought several benefits. Some of them I already mentioned. Other, increased brand recognition, further opening up of opportunities for ACCA members, collaboration with the regulators, increased recognition by the government circles, etc. Then you can see there was a mega conference that was held in Faisalabad, and our very own Harun is moderating the discussion very intensely, I must say there. So that was also another high-level conference, a high-powered panel discussion in one of the major hubs of industrial activity in Pakistan. Then one of the major conferences, and actually the last one immediately prior to lockdown, was held in Multan, which is another area of growing focus for ACCA fraternity as well as our members. As you know, there is an increasing focus on South Punjab, and Multan being going to be the center of activity for that region is very important for our members. So ACCA, thinking ahead and taking lead, has been actually conducting several conferences and initiatives in that region too, and again, mostly led by our members. Then you can see perhaps 2 of the very commonly identified faces. I don't think they even need any intro, but I'll do the formalities. You have Ayla Majid that you are seeing right now on your screen, our council member from Pakistan, although council doesn't represent any specific country. And you have head of ACCA Pakistan. It was a proud moment for Pakistan for our delegates from ACCA to have participated in the World Economic Forum. Then ACCA has been profiling successful ACCA members. So there's just one example to stress the importance. So Ms. Bano basically is a Pakistani origin member who is now a partner at KPMG London. And as per my knowledge, she is the first South Asian ACCA member, the female member who has reached that position based in London. So we requested her to spare some time during her visit to Pakistan. We profiled her, and just imagine how many members motivated, especially the female members motivated looking at her. So I would encourage our members to come forward, keep on sharing your success stories so you can become the next benchmark, next inspiration for our members. Then one of the most important initiatives of the calendar year, the strategic partnership agreement with Institute of Cost and Management Accountants Pakistan, ICMAP. This has already been discussed. As Ayla has shared with you, it has been a work of efforts culminated over years. It's been a teamwork. It's been a fantastic effort, and ACCA team has I would simply say done some fantastic work, the entire team. And I would also like to appreciate the role of everyone, the members, the MNP, the council, but most importantly, the ACC officials who work day and night. And more of these details would be coming forward in due time. And the door that this has opened have been fantastic. With the MOUs that we signed with the various tax bars has brought us to the level where now our members can practice in the field of taxation already. But we were limited in the area of statutory audit. So this particular partnership, in addition to giving an additional membership to ACCA members, by the way, ACCA itself is a global qualification of the best possible level. However, in Pakistan's local context, this qualification helps our member to have the audit rights for the SME sector, which has been a long-standing demand. So I believe this is a wonderful, wonderful collaboration. It provides a brilliant opportunity to the members of our partner body, ICMAP, to have a global footprint, to become members of ACCA and open doors of global opportunities for them. Similarly, it provides opportunities for our members who would like to work in Pakistan to open doors for additional career opportunities. Remember, this was perhaps the sole area that still required local regulatory permission for ACCA members to work. Other than that, be it a CFO, company secretary, finance officer, taxation advisor, consultant, etc., etc., they were all open to ACCA members. But this has been a brilliant leap forward. I took a bit of time on this because this initiative has been very close to my heart. But this is not the only initiative. We have been doing several MOUs and partnership initiatives with various other bodies. So Ahuvat Foundation, it's a well-known name in not just Pakistan, but across the globe now for microfinance and its philanthropic initiatives. ACCA signed an MOUs and some initiative have already started involving ACCA members and more would come to the fore. The details are available in ACCA's email and would be available further in future. I would like to dwell more on these initiatives, but because we are limited by time, I'm just briefly talking about these initiatives. Somebody is moving the cursor and the window. Okay, great. Thank you. So furthermore, we also participated in a diverse strategy summit. ACCA, along with some of the top names across the globe, were represented in the discussion. Stuart Dunlop and Juliet participated from ACCA's perspective. Again, this shows the importance and the brand recognition that has been placed on ACCA across the globe, and needless to share that this all translates in additional opportunities for our members and their careers. Similarly, we also participated in the HR Matrix for Global Diversity and Inclusion Benchmarks Conference and Awards 2020. And I think our representation was done by our members from perhaps the education team, if I'm not mistaken, as well as our South team. Then ACCA did some brilliant outreach sessions. We have just chosen some to share with you. So you can see the picture of the outreach sessions with LGS in Gujarat. So now ACCA is expanding itself beyond the traditionally accepted major towns and centers and growing the footprint and recognition. So LGS is offering ACCA program at its multiple campuses, and now it's expanding in the town of Gujarat too. Global Ethics Day, ACCA has started celebrating that on a much wider level in Pakistan, and it's now been done for 2 years running. So ACCA Pakistan held events in collaboration with the British Deputy High Commission in Karachi, with the CARB, with the partner organization CFA Society, who we hold an MOU with, and Helen herself, Helen Brand, the CEO of ACCA, participated in a power packed panel with some of the top names across corporate as well as intelligentsia sector in Pakistan. Head of ACCA Pakistan, Sajid Aslam, also represented us there. You can see another event, the picture from another event, and you can see that the then head of FPR, Mr. Shabar Zaidi, was also one of the key guests. And basically, what these pictures are showing you is the level of engagement that ACCA Pakistan has been doing, and the level of attendees and panels, and the growing footprint and the recognition of ACCA. And we are very, very thankful to ACCA Pakistan and ACCA's official team who has been entertaining our suggestion, and not just that, but going, I would say, beyond even the call of duty. So it's up to us members to share about these initiatives and feel pride in our body. So this was the Global Ethics Day event that was held in Lahore. Well, I've been honored to have participated in many of these events. I was present in the Lahore event too. And Senator Waleed Iqbal is one of the key dignitaries who usually speak very well and hold ACCA, like many others, in the highest possible regard that it is held across the globe. Okay, these are some other pictures from the events that we held. And the next slide. So this brings us to the sixth digit. So we have been talking about the various initiatives that ACC has been undertaking. We have talked about the webinars. We have talked about the collaborations. We have talked about the MOUs. We have talked about the joint additional qualifications, MOUs. We have talked about the Global Ethics Day events. We have talked about other collaborations. We have talked about the outreach. Now, one other brilliant initiative that has been a groundbreaking success last year. So the idea culminated that many members come to us with the queries, just like one member initially mentioned, that they believe they are not getting the package that they should. So we had a lot of brainstorming, and we discussed what we can do about it. And we identified that as a qualification, ACCA is as good as it gets. I mean, ACCA updates its curriculum regularly. It's their top notch in terms of the finance profession. It equips you with the skill that the businesses want. However, there are softer skills. There are some nitty gritties that the individuals have to work on themselves. So we thought that going beyond the call of duty, we can actually have the MNP members and ACCA members volunteer along with ACCA staff and train our members who are selected for this program. We also got resources from outside where it was necessary. It was a pleasure to contribute in the program in taxation and other initiative. Other MNP members, including my vice chair, also participated in the program. And you can see some of the pictures of the participant. So dozens of hours. I think, Harun, it was 100 hours, if I'm not mistaken, that the entire program was undertaken for, right?
That's right, 100 hours.
Yeah. So it was a rigorous 100 hours program at no cost, with some wonderful volunteers that equipped our members with the local laws and taxation, how to talk, the softer skills, the presentation skills, the interview skills, how to collaborate, the teamwork, and the result was in front of your screen. A brilliant success. I'm really happy to share with you that all the participants of this six-digit program are now earning, as our target, over six digit, a minimum of 100,000 after 100 hours of the rigorous training. So what we are doing next is making this six-digit program scalable. The second edition has already started. We have got the nomination and will be shortlisting and running through the second edition of this program. EPSM module is a main constituent of the program. The rigor, public speaking, presentation, gap analysis of the skill using ACCA competency framework is what drives this program. So let's move forward. These are pictures of some of the brilliant members. And just to give you an idea of how intensive the program was, we selected about 36 members from 100 of applications in the inaugural edition. And out of those 36 members, 14 members passed out the program, completed the 100 hours, and they have been success stories. And you can see Suleiman, Sikandar, Hasib, Ali, all these members in front of your screen. And they have been given additional engagement and visibility by ACCA. And not just this, the brilliant thing is that we have been able to instill this spirit in them of giving back to the society. So now they are contributing. 3 of those members, Ayla, have been added to the taxation subcommittee. So now they are starting to give back to the society. And that is one brilliant thing about this initiative amongst many others. So let's move forward. I've already mentioned about the details of the program and the second edition. Now let's move on to another area which is very important, and I'll take a few minutes just to deliberate on this very briefly. There are 77 members in practice in the MESA region. MESA represent Middle East and South Asia. Pakistan is the leader with 56 members registered on the register of practitioners, and then we have 13 members from the Middle East. But let me tell you, this is not the entire number. This is only the number that has registered on the register of practitioners. And I found this personally, and also in my discussions with the head of member affairs, Harun and Sajid, we often identify this, that unfortunately many members do not register on the register of practitioners, which is harmful in many ways. Number one, it doesn't give you the global visibility. You already know the power of connection. ACCA is a global body. When you have put your name on the register, it opens up many opportunities. People can see that you are one of the authorized practitioners in your region. But that's not all. Remember, in terms of ethics and the requirement, this is actually a requirement to practice. And one other thing, for those members who already are registered, it's not a one-off deal. Some members often come to us with the query that, okay, I registered one time, so I believe it would renew automatically. No. Just like the CPD requirement, just to give an idea of the similarity, you have to renew that each year. So at the end of the year, you have to go on the register again and renew your membership. So I would encourage members who are in practice to please come forward, register yourself on the register of practitioners so that you have more visibility, you'll get more business, you will be following ethics and regulatory requirement, and more importantly, get benefit of the resources and the power of connections. Next slide, please. So I've already shared that ACCA is a key stakeholder on the local tech scene now. We have many MOUs with the tech bars in Pakistan. We have been holding several CPDs. We are first to many things. We are having joint collaboration with Institute of Cost and Management Accountant of Pakistan, and having a very high panel discussion on the budget, another post-budget session. So ACCA did a post-budget for its members immediately after the budget. We are doing another one this week, I think day after tomorrow, for ICMAP. I'm honored to be moderating the panel discussion there, and you have some of the top names in the panel there. Then we are doing another one this week with the Karachi Tax Bar Association, and we are doing another few with the other tax bars, the details of which will be shared with you with the members affairs. You can see on your screen several bars are now recognizing ACCA after our MOUs. It started with Lahore Tax Bar, expanded to Karachi Tax Bar, Pakistan Tax Bar, Multan Tax Bar, other regional tax bar. So ACCA is growing leaps and bounds in terms of recognition, especially on the taxation scene. Next one. So in terms of the employer landscape, some fantastic work has been happening, and we are continuously adding more and more employers to our recognized employers. 40 additional employers were added in the year 19 and 20, which include PepsiCo, Lucky Cement, SCCP, Affinity. So you can see the level of these employers added to, obviously creating additional opportunities for our members. 60 webinars regional and local have been conducted, covering a plethora of relevant topics. And we had topics such as data analytics, machine learnings, and many of these CPTs have been made absolutely free for our members, which even had any cost tag to them. And I would like to mention that I was honored to represent our members on the Global Tax Forum, and we have been pursuing an initiative, Tax as a Force for Good, focused on sustainable economy, green taxation, and collaborating with the global members base across the globe. And that has been happening in Pakistan throughout the last year too. Next one. Yeah, this is very close to my heart. After winning the Advocate Award, National Advocacy Award for 2 years running, and being nominated for the Regional Award, and then this year honored to be a part of the judging panel along with Ayla herself, who is present here. It was a pleasure to see that for the first time ever we got a Pakistani member becoming the Regional Advocate of the Year, Mr. Maaz Masood Ansari. And basically, advocacy is not about your career. It's not about where you are in your career. It's about giving back to the society, to the fraternity, to the ACCA community. What you have done in terms of the advocacy, what you are doing for the members, for the fraternity, for the affiliates, for the student. So it is about those contribution, and it is widely celebrated. So I would urge you all to come forward and play your part. Not only is it beneficial in terms of your personal grooming, in terms of your recognition, but it gives you an inner peace here that you are contributing, being lucky enough to be in that position. Next. Okay, this has already been discussed about the reduced subscription. So now we know there is a part payment option for 6 months already, November to April, which has been extended till September. So now we had additional month added up. The threshold for reduced subscription was revised from 5,000 to 6,000 pound and made more flexible. So any members whose application for reduced subscription was rejected, ACCA encouraged them that if their circumstances has changed, and most of your circumstances have changed in line of the ongoing pandemic, please apply again. 70% of members in Pakistan are paying standard subscription, and 30% are taking the benefit of reduced subscription due to their circumstances. So this shows you that ACCA is your association, and while it is important for ACCA to spend resources on brand recognition and all the requirement, but it is also taking heed of the difficulty our members are facing and doing the best possible that not only it can, but any professional organization. Next one. My ACCA. So our portal has been redesigned. I believe most, if not all of you would have seen that, and some fantastic new features have been added. It's very easy to navigate that. Things are easier to download. Many standard letters are available. If you are an active member, you can just see a quick snapshot of your affairs. We have taken heed from the latest technologies, the popular platforms, and made it more user friendly. Next one, G. ACCA Careers is continuously improving. We have already shared about the career fairs, the 12-hour career fairs that's still been going on with some of the top names in Pakistan. Do check out the ACCA Careers website, share your feedback, how this can be improved. Let us know, play your part, try to get more ACCAs accommodated in your organization too. Next one. So ACCA's flagship Pakistan leadership conversation that's been running brilliantly for the past few years, unfortunately had to be deferred along with the new members ceremony 2020 due to the pandemic situation, because your lives and your safety has been the most important factor for ACCA. However, we are looking at alternate options, and as I was having discussions with ACCA officials, perhaps we'll have the new members ceremony online now, considering that the situation currently look to be extending for some times, and we'll continue with these brilliant initiatives again on the similar scale that we used to once the situation is back to the normal, or should we say the new normal, according to the situation then. Stay in touch with ACCA. Check out ACCA's website regularly. Email to the relevant emails. Call up if that's what you prefer. There's much more, but we have limited time. So I'll ask you to stay connected with your MNP, with the member affairs, with all of us, and enjoy the power of connection. I hope you'll appreciate all the brilliant work the MNP, the council, and the entire ACCA team has been doing for you. Many of these things are not publicly highlighted very aggressively for the reasons of confidentiality or and for members benefit, but you, the members attending the AGM, are aware of all the fantastic work that's been happening, and I would request you to please appreciate that, share that with other members so it motivate our ACCA team even more, and please come forward with your suggestion because there's always room for improvement, and share your perspective with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Umar. Very comprehensive, and we've literally run out of time. However, we have with us the regional head of customer services as well. So Usman Said is present. He was particularly requested to join us to answer some questions that members may have. Uh, at the same time, I would like to mention that two more panelists are MNP member from Karachi, Tahir Sartaj, and Murtaza Hassan, our MNP member from Peshawar. They have also joined us. They will listen to the conversation. Let's very
Arun,
quickly go to the questions.
if you could also kindly announce that Salman's also joined in between, but they had to drop out for their professional commitment.
Right, announcement made. I think we'll just take 15 more minutes dealing with some questions, and then we will call it off. So just stay put for 15 minutes. This is your opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to ask any questions. I will start with the questions where we left. So again, a lot of requests for members to join the WhatsApp groups. So what I'll do is that I will send out an announcement, share the names of different groups with you. Will ask you to select the ones that you want to be a part of. I would suggest that if you want, if you let's suppose residing in Karachi, join the WhatsApp group in Karachi. If it's in Islamabad, join Islamabad. Because of limitation of numbers, we have to limit. We have a limitation at hand that we cannot have more than 256 members in WhatsApp groups. We are looking at WhatsApp for business as a possibility, but we will let you know when it comes. It's a question from Sana Arif saying, when will the members be given their ACCA membership certificate? So let's make use of Usman's presence here. Usman, if you can tell us what is happening with the membership certificates. What about the members from 2019, 2020, जिनकी इस साल membership ceremony होनी थी? So can you please tell us what are we doing about the membership certificates?
Yes, assalamu alaikum everyone. First of all, hello to everyone, whoever is on the call. My name is Usman Saeed. I think I haven't had a meeting with you before. The question that you've asked about the membership certificates, there are certain certificates which we have received before the pandemic was announced in March. So whoever has become member before March, we have those certificates with us in our office, and we will be dispatching as soon as the courier services allow us to do so. These are already been printed. The names have been pasted on the certificates. In the coming future, looking at the digital transformation, and I think to make the delivery quicker for all the members, what we're trying to do is to make the certificate digitally available on MyACCA portal. But the backend team are still working on it. And on the other side, we will also try to give a hard copy of certificate, but that entirely depends on how the situation evolves in the coming future. So the digital version will be available. That's what we are actually working on, and the hard copy will be available as and when the services will be open from the UK and the local office.
Yes, thank you very much, Usman. And I think members would realize that because of delays in Korea also, these certificates are not printed here. They're sent to us by the head office. So because of delays in Korea, there were delays in receiving member certificate. Usman, I
Yes,
also
exactly.
understand that there were certificates sent out also a few days back uh, with a special instruction on how to handle postal mail during this COVID situation. So we've been acting
Yes,
responsibly when you receive your package, there is a complete instruction on it on how to handle mail in order to avoid the infection from COVID.
infection.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, thank you, Usman. Let's move on. And Adnan Ahmed Kaisar has been saying that ACCA Pakistan is not mentioning in the email that the webinar would be counted as verifiable. And additionally, they are not sending the certificates as they usually do. So Adnan, thank you very much for pointing this out. Yes, that is correct. The certificates are not being sent out currently, and that's because there is some software issue on my end, particularly my end on my laptop. I was the one who used to send out all the CPT certificates for participation. But please rest assured, we have a list of all the participants in case certificates pending, and I can tell you this is a list of about 5,000 participants. That list is with me. I am currently trying to get this issue fixed as it involves teams in London who are going to handle or update my system because of which there was a lag in sending out certificates. However, having said that, I must tell you that in the next few weeks, the issue will be fixed and I will send out all the previous certificates to you. So, and you will be able to use these certificates for your verifiable CPT units. But please note that this is a practice that we follow in Pakistan, or at least the webinars that we hold throughout the region. If there is any webinar which is being organized by by a third party or by another country, for ACC office in another country, they may have a different practice of sending out certificates, or they may just be sending out an email. So for those particular sessions, the relevant office will be able to tell us whether a certificate is required, or just the email message that you fully attended the session will be used for an evidence that you have attended the session. Moving on, there's a question from Wasif Islam. He's saying, why ACCA is not working, that ACCA members can do independent audit in Pakistan for small and medium entities. A title of ACCA member has remained now for, all right, I understood your question. Wasif, if you've understood the strategic partnership agreement with ICMAP correctly, that's exactly what it offers you. So through this membership route, through the ICMAP membership route, this is a facility that is available to you. And if we have Sajid available online or Ayla, if you can please take a go on this question. Sajid or
Uh,
Ayla?
thank you, thank you, Aaron. Ala, you want to take it up first?
I was just going to say that, it's about leveraging a partnership which then allows us access to undertake activities which ICMA is already undertaking. So at times, honestly, it really doesn't make sense to reinvent wheels, but to leverage on partnerships and on collaborations. So, and like Harun mentioned, with this arrangement, with this collaboration, essentially ACCA members will be allowed to carry on independently as well. And Sajid, you may like to add on to this. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you. I think that's a very pertinent question, which always been there, and I think we have evaluated situation in a different way with MNP, with council, with members, selected members, and we had a lot of different discussions around it. Uh, why we want to get into audits, and what exactly we are looking at. The Generally, when we are talking about having a audit rights, it's not only the recognition side. People are also looking for the earning side as well. That this is the area where they feel they can build a business opportunity, and uh, they can set up their own practices there. But if you look at the ground realities, I think unless until you are a very large firm and you have a very large clients like a listed companies, it's a loss leader, and it's bring a lot of liability towards members. The members who understand the audit practice and the audit ecosystem, their preference, even the people who are already in established audit practices, their preference is to go for the taxation, go for advisory, go for technology businesses. So our focus always remain on that area where we feel it's a low risk and a high earning potential for our members. And we, if you go back and see in the last 4 5 years, all those areas are amply covered, and those opportunities and the recognitions are already in place for ACCA members. Now we come to the regulated assurance services. And I'll just quote a one example, and you can well imagine how risky it could be. Just imagine, not because of the auditor, but because of the client risk, SECP write a one letter to a one ACCA member around the negligence or any default or any breach around it. It's very easy to handle it in Pakistan, and sometimes people may not see it differently. But for ACCA, as soon as you receive that one, there will be a disciplinary action, and that will be reported to FRC, and it will become a global issue. And that will compromise ACCA brand, that will compromise the ACCA recognition in some of the countries as well. So I think in Pakistan, from a maturity perspective, from an audit or regulated assurance services market, we have got a very high client risk. At the same time, it's a loss leader in terms of the practice. If I have to run a practice as an ACCA member, I'll prefer to run a practice around the taxation, I'll on advisory or transaction structuring, merger acquisition. I'll do everything. And whenever my client will ask for the audit, I'll go and I hand over that one to someone which I trust, and I create a collaboration with it. So the collaboration would be my way to really handle that kind of thing. I'll build my expertise and reputation on something which is a more profitable business. Let's put it that way. So that's the general concept based on which we are working, that which area we should get a recognition and which area we should not. And just let you know, there are a lot of conversation with the regulator where they really ask us to apply for it, and we have to evaluate what does it mean. And we are reluctant to do so. And they are willing to evaluate the situation and all that. But I think with the ICMA partnership, that create an opportunity for our members as well as for their members to get into the regulated assurance practices in a different market. And I think that would be the better model, because their governance structure or a local governance structure, like if somebody's ICMAP member and they get it in ACCA membership and practice in UK, I think ACCA has got a better and a bigger infrastructure to really regulate them in UK. Similarly, ICMAP has got a better and bigger infrastructure in Pakistan to regulate the members who are getting into the assurance practices. But I think that I hope that gave you the complete picture that this question is always there, and we know that this question is there, and but we are trying to solve it in a different way, based on a key focus on the earning rather than only a recognition side of it. We are trying to place our members, like you will be surprised that there are members who are going, just because of the COVID, we are a little restricted right now. We were asked to provide the members to sit on a working committee with the finance ministry, working committee of SCCPs, working committee of the FPR. So there are different working committees which exist out there, and there is an opportunity for our members to get involved on those national agenda and use our global presence to contribute. And that is something, as soon as we get out of this one, we will start working again on those one, and we will start placing the members on those working committee, and you will have a better idea and the presence that how this ecosystem and the public sector as well as the policy making is working. There are very few members right now from an ACCA platform who are engaged in these type of stuff. Most of the time I have to represent that, but that's not my role, and I have to pull myself out, and I have to get the members who should be sitting there and representing ACCA as a membership body. So I hope that gives you the overall context of the recognition and what the direction which ACCA might be taking in the next couple of years.
Just a
Thank you.
quick follow-up question, Sajid, if you could address that. Many members have been asking about the operational nature. When would it be operational? When would be the first possibility to sit? If you would like to share anything on that.
December. December is we are aiming to have a first exam in December for ICMAP we are talking about. So the first exam will be in December for fellow members. That's a very
We're
specific.
calling it ICMAP pathway, isn't it?
Yeah, ICMA Pakistan pathway exams.
Pathway
And they
exam.
will be calling it the ACCA pathway exam. I'm sure there will be a different terminology once it's come for the public one, but right now internally we call it the pathway exams. It's one exam where somebody sits and become a member of the exam.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the comprehensive answer. I think Umar's firm is an example of how a multidisciplinary firm can focus more on areas other than taxation, and for particularly for audit reason, you can bring in another partner who can help you gain the audit right as well. But however, ACCS platform has addressed this issue, and therefore you can follow the ICMA Pakistan Pathway program. Next question is from Iman, asking that after getting membership, is it true that CPD requirement for the first year is not compulsory to fulfill? Iman, the answer to this is that CPD requirement starts once you have become a member. So if let's suppose you become a member on October 2019, and the CPD requirement falls due on the 1st of January 2020, of course, the 2 or 3 months is not enough for you to gain the entire 40 CPD units. So you will be required to submit your declaration at the end, your first declaration at the end of year 2020. At the end of year 2020. So that is what the rule is. Please remember that the CPT requirement kicks in as soon as you become a member. From that time, the clock starts ticking, and then during the year, you have to complete 40 CPT units to complete the CPT requirement. If there's any further detail required, you can contact me, or you can contact customer services or the numbers mentioned to you on the screen. Arsalan Yaqub Khan is asking a question saying, I am the financial controller, head of finance, Dawood Foundation. My question is there any support from ACC office acquiring reciprocal membership of ICAW? Another question is that, is ACCA pursuing University of London to allow submit reduced fee for the MSc program in case if the member is facing any hardship? So Usman, once again, I'll take a first go at to answer this question, and then I'll bring in Usman to answer the rest of it. ICAW, it's not a reciprocal arrangement. This is a one-sided offer. This was an offer made by ICAW to members through their own pathways program. It is not a reciprocal membership as in case of ICMAP, for example, whereas there's a reciprocal arrangement. So the support that ACC can offer is that there is a specific letter of good standing which is particularly given out for ICW membership the members require. So ACCA, in case a member requires it, ACCA is able to directly issue it to that member, that specific letter, which the member can then use to gain membership of ICAW. That's the support. That's all the support that you require. The rest is, since this is an offer by ICAW, the rest is all dealt with by their teams. Usman, if you can also chime in on this.
Yes, Arun, I think you categorically mentioned it. The letter of good standing can be downloaded from my ACCA portal, so that is also digitally available. In case of unavailability, you can also email on members@accaglobal.com. Of any specific case, for instance, if you're facing any challenge or understanding of the requirement, you can drop an email to members@accaglobal.com, and obviously that can be taken.
Okay. MSc program from the University of London. Saad Wasim is our POC for Pakistan. He represents the University of London in Pakistan. So I think this matter can be suggested to him, and let's see if the university is able to allow members from Pakistan, particularly any hardship allowance for completing their program. Zahra Aziz, and I'll be going quick on questions now. Zahra Aziz saying there are many activities, tasks, and activities which don't have documentary evidence. How can we account for CPD? Look, if there is no documentary evidence available, ACCA has provided you with an option of providing a third-party verification letter. So, for example, if you are mentoring an ACCA trainee in an organization, of course, there'll be no written document available for you to prove that you are doing this mentorship. So you can go to your HR department, ask them to issue a third-party verification or evidence letter, which you can present as an evidence for your verifiable CPD. If there was any other activity for which there is a shortage of an evidence, so once again, third-party evidence can be used to provide a proof to ACCA that you were a part of that CPD activity. So please remember that. Rizwan Shahzad saying kindly also provide details regarding how will CPD be verified, for example, if attended strategic level meeting. So minutes of the meeting will be in evidence? Yes, minutes of the meeting can be in evidence. And once again, like I said, a third-party evidence letter, third-party verification letter can also be an evidence. So remember the three questions, and one of those is an evidence.
Can I just add here that
Sure.
I mean, and just my personal sort of take on this. Minutes of the meetings will be perhaps confidential in nature of your organization. So I think at times there is like if it's like a board meeting, there's like a strategy being discussed. So it should be the secretary of the board. There will be one individual who is supposed to sort of report and who can perhaps verify. So I think that is what you should be getting from your organization. I don't think there'll be people will be too happy about sharing the minutes with
Yeah,
with.
Gee, thank you very much, Ayla. Thank you for pointing this out. Confidentiality, by the way, it's a rule in your rule book, in the ACCA rule book. You have to maintain confidentiality. Minutes of the meeting, of which is a strategy level meeting, if it is a sensitive document, please do not share it with ACCA. Use a third party verification, which would be a letter issued by the secretary of the board of an organization. Please use that as an evidence. Thank you very much, Ayla. Thank you for pointing this out. Arsalan Yaqub Khan is saying, I was an MNP member back in the years 2013, 14, and 15. Yes, Arsalan, thank you. We remember. Kindly guide the procedure to become ACCA Pakistan MNP member. I have to apply for it and trying to be engaged since past 2 to 3 years. Please guide the way forward. Sure, Arsalan. The process is that we will very soon be going for elections. MNP consists of 10 members, and the council member is by regulations a member of MNP as well, a voting member of MNP. So the process is that we will open up for nominations in the next few weeks. Actually, it should have been done by now, but because of certain issues at hand, this has been delayed. But it is going to happen very soon now. So during the month of June, there will be an email circulated for you to nominate yourself or nominate somebody else to contest for elections. Then the elections will be announced. These will be digital elections. There will be time allocated to you to drop in your vote. Once the voting period is over, then our partner for the MNP elections, Electoral Reform Systems, which is a global organization, the same organization that does voting for the council also, council elections, then they come in and they share the results. So that is how 5 members out of 10 are elected to the council. There is another 5 that ACCA can appoint to the council. And the criteria for that is, number one, we have to make sure a balance in the MNP of members working in different sectors. of businesses. So, for example, if through elections it turns out that we did not have any members from the banking sector in the MNP, so ACCA will bring in a member as an appointed member and place them on the MNP. Second criteria is geographical representation. So if, for example, after the elections were over, we figured out that there was nobody elected from Multan or Peshawar or another city, then just just so that we have an equal representation, a good representation of geographically also, we will bring in a member from that particular city. So that is how further five members are appointed to the MNP. So five elected, five appointed. That's how the composition of the MNP is completed. And then, of course, once the MNP is in place, the subcommittees are formed, the interest for members in the subcommittees also then gathered. So for a new member, I would suggest, and you would mean not new to membership, but anybody who wants to become a part of the MNP, I think the first step would be to become a part of one of the subcommittees and make your contribution, right? Once you've done that, automatically you are one stage up to become an MNP member. Contest elections, become an MNP member, right? You can serve as an MNP office bearer or a member for 2 years plus 2 years. Once you've made your ground there as well, then you can go on and become a council. Although there is no barring people to contest directly for council, but if you take this progression, that you stand the best chance of becoming a council member as well. Ayla, isn't that the 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 process that you also followed? I remember you were at one time a MAC member, a MAC chair, and then you went on to become a council member.
Yes, Harun, yes. Yes, I served in the MNP for about 4 years. So yes, I was very involved with ACCA Pakistan at the Pakistan level. And then I became a member of the council in 2014. Yeah. And my engagement with the MNP was from 2008 to 2012. Yeah. So
great. Thank you. Thank you, Ayla. Okay. I have an eye on the watch as well, so I'm trying to hurry up questions. There are only a few left, so I'll just very quickly answer. Tariq Khan is saying, we have any webinars for learning accounting softwares like Zero accounting software and QuickBooks and many more? Thank you. So yes, Tariq, your suggestion is noted. Let's see if you can bring them such trainings. Ram Ratan has asked a question: is there any MOU with IBA LUMS where ACCA members can directly enroll in masters and get master's degree by giving just 2 or 3 semester exams? It depends from university to university. So there are different arrangements available. Ram Ratan, we can help you. If you can send us an email, we can take this question offline and tell you requirements by universities. So we'll be able to answer that. Next question is from Ramatal. Has actually asked 3 questions, so I pick up another question saying, okay, ACCA member in the current market taking more or less more that less compared to CA or ICAP. I think this comparison with what CAs can earn versus what ACCAs can earn, it is not a fair question. It is not comparing likes with likes. And I think ACCA, by offering the 6 digits program, has proven that your salary is derived more by your work behaviors, your mindset, how you apply yourself, what benefit do you bring to an organization, and less by just the title that you have. Yeah. So I think those questions would be answered straight away by this effort. Mesam Ladha is saying, thank you for arranging this session. You're most welcome. You mentioned that ACCA members can take part in delivering training sessions for ACCA students and members. Can you please advise on the process? Thank you very much, Mesam. There are many opportunities that ACCA offers to members if they want to start contributing, giving back. So, for example, a few weeks ago, State Bank of Pakistan came up with their financial literacy program. The first thing we did was, after signing up with the State Bank of Pakistan to and volunteering, we went back to our members saying, we want master trainers for the financial literacy program. Who wants to contribute? So there were a lot of members who brought in. We did a selection, and these members were then trained by the State Bank officials, and they then went on to deliver the much talked about financial literacy program. Same process applies for all other events and training sessions also. So you can directly send me an email or phone me up, share your interest, discuss your area of expertise, share your previous experience of doing such a of such a training, and we will definitely give an opportunity to such members. Sayyid Ali Ghalib Naqvi saying great session delivered digitally. Thank you very much, Ghalib. It was all because of the members who present. Thank you very much. Can you kindly explain what is the best approach to obtain guidance from ACCA Pakistan regarding entrepreneurship for ACCA members? Entrepreneurship is a very important content which is a part of our 6 digits program, but at the same time we also have an entrepreneurship society in place. Murtaza, who is present in the call from Peshawar, is the chair of the entrepreneurship society. You can send me your query and I can forward it to Murtaza and to Muhammad Zishan Razak, who are actively looking at the entrepreneurship related work. There are many other members from across Pakistan who are part of the subcommittee. We have active participation or active working arrangement with national incubation centers, so on and so forth. So a lot of help can be offered. Last question, and a long one. Get this. Okay. Muhammad Hassan Mujahid. This association puts some efforts for the recovery of blocked salaries by previous employers, especially in the pandemic environment. Sorry, Hassan Mujahid, your question is not very clear. Which association are you talking about? Let me look for another question. Khurram Shahzad. Okay, Khurram Shahzad is saying, thanks for the detailed presentation and updates and all the brilliant work by ACCA Pakistan, MNP, and efforts by the council members. I also wanted to appreciate Member Affairs for putting special efforts even during this pandemic, providing an opportunity to the members for various CPD and other events, an online job fair to e-connect and get updates on my bad. Yeah. Update on the regular basis. Just wanted to update the technical committees of MNP other than taxation if already discussed. I have joined late. Please refer. I will check the recording later. So Khurram, yes, we have mentioned the other subcommittees and societies that are in place. If you check the recording, Umar's presentation has a description of which other societies and subcommittees are in place. Arsalan Yaqub is saying, kindly guide how a fellow member can serve on a members network panel. Arsalan, fellow members and members. Fellow members do not have a special place. I mean, we would want an equal representation, a good representation of young members and senior members, right? So fellow members also stand as an equal chance to become an MNP member if they like. I think
By the way,
that's
Harun,
all.
fellow members can young be. Fellow members can be young too.
No, I didn't mean pointing them out as old, but as senior and young. Let me not call them old. Let's call
Yeah,
them
that was just on a lighter note, since you are about to thank everyone.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. I think that's all from our side now. We've taken about 40 minutes more than the scheduled time, a very long phone call, but then annual network meeting, but I think the purpose is served. Um, I think there was a lot of information discussed. I think would have corrected a lot of perceptions also. Would have told you about how ACCA is prioritizing supporting ACCA members. Ayla's presentation, I think, was detailed enough to give you ideas about how ACCA is globally looking at supporting members in this pandemic situation. Um, what is the direction going forward? Which 12 areas has ACCA brought in to support its members? And that is all based on feedback and insight that all of you have been providing to the council, to ACCA, and so on and so forth. Umar's presentation also was quite elaborate, discussing each and every event that was held across the country during 1 year time only. So you can see ACCA has been very, very active. And let me tell you, ACCA has been very popular also because of its quality of events, because of its frequency of events, and because of its events being targeted at what the market requires, at what the members require. And I think going forward, you will see engagement of ACCA members in all possible platforms, in all possible places. Eventually, what we desire is that when ACCA holds its Pakistan leadership conversation, majority of the members sitting up on the stage should be ACCA members. They should have that ability, that persona to reflect the values that ACCA has put in place. I think that process has already started happening. That process is already there. Please join hands. Um, Join hands to make ACCA a much more renowned name, reputable name in your market, to reflect what ACCA values actually mean and stand for. Thank you all very much. I can go on and on summarizing what golden words have been said in this meeting, but I think we're pressed for time for namaz also. Thank you all very much for joining in. You have the contact details in front of you. You can write to me if you have any suggestions or any further questions, and I can pass those on to the council members, to the MNP members, to the subcommittee members, and to other WhatsApp groups. So thank you very much for joining us. Usman, Said, thank you very much for joining us and answering questions. Sajid, thank you for staying back in the office. I'm sorry, Sajid had to stay back in the office because of this call till about 6:30, 6:40. So Sajid, thank you very much for staying back. And that's all from our side. Tahir, thank you very much for joining us from Karachi. Murtaza from Peshawar, Arsalan from his office. Thank you all very much for taking your time out and joining us today. And stay safe, stay blessed, and stay connected with ACCA. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, Harun. A huge thank
Thank you, Arun.
Thank you, everyone.
Allah Hafiz, everyone.
Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.